Taurus, this is different. This is about something that was ripped away from you, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, even if you've never put it into words. That thing that disappeared from your life and left such a big hole that you learned to live around it, pretending it doesn't hurt anymore. But it hurts, it always has. And in 2026, it comes back. This isn't an empty promise. It's not cheap optimism. It's a real, tangible return that's already moving behind the scenes of your existence at this very moment. And before you raise that skeptical eyebrow and say, "I've heard this before," let me ask you a very direct question. When was the last time you felt that sensation of being complete? Not happy, not temporarily satisfied, but complete, whole, with all the pieces in place. I bet you don't even remember. Because you've been living with that missing piece for so long that you don't even recognize the emptiness anymore. It's become part of the landscape. But here's the truth that will shake you. That missing piece wasn't an accident. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't one of life's things. It was necessary. It was taken away because you needed to learn something that can only be learned in absence. You needed to develop emotional muscles that only grow when you're forced to support yourself. You needed to discover who you are when you remove everything that defined you. And you learned, Taurus. You learned the hard way. And now you're ready to receive it back. But not as it was before. Better, bigger, more real. Look, I know you're a practical person. You don't like abstract talk, empty promises, or unfounded hope. You want to know what exactly was taken away. And the answer will vary from Taurus to Taurus, but you'll all recognize it when I describe the feeling. It was that which made you feel safe, that which anchored you. It could have been a person, it could have been a situation, it could have been a version of yourself that you lost along the way. It could have been a dream you gave up on pursuing. It could have been a confidence you had that was shattered. It could even have been an innocence, a way of seeing the world that was destroyed by successive disappointments. And when it was ripped away from you, you didn't understand. You were lost, disoriented, as if the rules of the game had been changed mid-match without warning. You tried to grab it, tried to hold on, tried to stop it from going, but it did, and you were left there, empty-handed, staring into the empty space and thinking, what now? And you know what's even crueler? Nobody gave you a manual on how to deal with it. Nobody explained why it was happening. You just had to swallow the pain and move on, because life doesn't stop to wait for us to recover. But let me tell you something no one told you back then. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. Every day you woke up and chose to keep going even without what sustained you. You were building something within yourself, a new foundation, stronger, more yours, because what you had before was solid, but it wasn't unshakable. And you needed something unshakable to hold what's coming now. Do you understand what that means? What you're going to receive in 2026 is too big to fit into the old version of your life. Now take a deep breath, because things are about to get intense. 2026 isn't as far away as it seems. It's right around the corner. And what's going to happen that year isn't just a symbolic return. It's not just a good feeling. It's concrete. It's material. It's something you'll be able to touch, feel, experience. And it's going to be strange at first. It's going to be almost surreal, because you've become so accustomed to the absence that the presence will throw you off balance. You'll have to relearn how to live with what you so desperately wanted back. And that, Taurus, requires courage too. And here's something that will surprise you. When it comes back, you won't be the same person you lost. You've changed. You've hardened in some places, matured in others, healed in still others. And this new version of you will relate to its return in a completely different way. You won't cling to it desperately anymore. You won't depend on it to feel whole anymore, because you are already whole now, with or without it. And that's exactly why you're ready to receive it back, because now you don't need to, you choose. And that difference changes everything. But there's one crucial thing you need to understand about this process. The return won't fall from the sky. It won't knock on your door wrapped with a bow. You'll have to actively participate in the rebuilding. You'll have to make space in your life for it. You'll have to let go of things you've clung to along the way as inadequate substitutes. You'll have to be honest about what you truly want, not what's safe to want. And that's scary, I know, because making space means becoming vulnerable again. It means taking risks again. It means telling the universe, I'm ready, and truly being ready. Let me ask you a question that goes straight to the point. Do you still want this? Or do you only think you want it because it was taken from you? Because there's a huge difference between wanting something and wanting the idea of something. Between truly wanting it and wanting it only because there's a void. And you need to be brutal with yourself in this answer. Because if you don't truly want it, if you just want to fill the void with something familiar, then you're going to waste the return. You'll receive it back, and you won't know what to do with it. You'll realize that you've changed so much that it no longer fits into your current life. But if you truly want it, if deep down you always knew that it was yours, that it was temporarily taken away, but never ceased to belong to you, then 2026 will be the year that redefines the meaning of new beginnings for you. It will be the year where you finally understand why you had to go through everything you went through. It will be the year where all the pieces fall into place and you look back and think, so that's why. And that clarity, Taurus, that deep understanding of the purpose of the pain, it alone is worth all the suffering. Now let me reveal something about the nature of this return. Don't expect it to be identical to what was taken away. It won't be. The universe doesn't work with exact repetitions. It works with evolutions. So if it was a person who left your life, it may not be that same person who returns. It could be someone new who brings that same essence, but improved, more aligned with who you are today. If it was an opportunity you missed, it may not be the same door that opens. It could be a bigger door, leading to a place you didn't even know existed when you missed the first one. And this is where most people get lost. They become so fixated on the specific form of what they lost that they don't recognize when it returns. They expect one thing and receive another, and discard it because it doesn't resemble the mental image they've built. Don't do that, Taurus. When 2026 arrives, pay attention. Stay open, because what's coming back to you may be dressed in a completely different way than you imagine. But the essence, that feeling of, this is mine, this completes me, this was missing, that you will recognize instantly. There's another important thing here. During all these years without what was taken away, you filled the space with other things. Some good, some not so much. Some that really helped you grow, others that were just temporary crutches. And when the real return happens, you'll need to let go of those crutches. You'll need to do some cleaning. Because you can't hold on to the new while clinging to what's just survival. And that will hurt too. It will hurt to let go of people who were important at a certain point, but who have no place in the next phase. It will hurt to abandon habits that kept you functioning, but now only limit you. So tell me, Taurus, are you willing to do this cleansing? Are you willing to be honest about what in your current life is real and what is just placeholder? Because this honesty is a prerequisite. You can't receive the new while you're clogged with old emotional baggage. You can't open your hands to what is rightfully yours while you're clinging tightly to things that have already served their purpose. And you, who value security and stability so much, will have to choose between the false security of the known and the real possibility of something extraordinary. Now comes the part no one wants to hear, but that I need to say. There are Tauruses who will resist the return. They will be so afraid of going through the pain again, so much protection built around their hearts, so much investment in the I don't need this version of their own story, that when the opportunity comes, they will push it away. They will sabotage it. They will create rational excuses not to accept it. They will say it's too late, that they've changed too much, that it's not worth risking it again. And then they will spend the rest of their lives wondering, what if? Don't be that Taurus. Please don't be, because here's the hardest truth. This chance doesn't come twice. What's aligning for 2026 is the result of years of cosmic preparation. It's not something that happens every year. It's not something you can postpone until you feel more ready. Either you're ready when it arrives, or you lose. And losing this time won't be like before. Before, you lost without choice. This time, if you lose, it will be because you chose fear instead of courage. And that, Taurus, is the kind of regret that haunts you. Let me paint a very concrete picture of what 2026 could be like for you. Imagine waking up and feeling that anxiety in your chest that has been with you for years, except it's no longer there. Imagine looking in the mirror and finally recognizing the person looking back, not that tired stranger you've been seeing. Imagine having that sense of purpose again, of knowing where you're going, of feeling that life makes sense again. Imagine being able to breathe deeply without that weight on your chest. Imagine being able to plan for the future without that voice saying, "But what if I lose everything again?" Now, imagine this further. Imagine that thing you gave up on having, that thing you convinced yourself wasn't for you, that you transformed into it wasn't meant to be. Imagine it right there in front of you, real, available, yours. What would it be like? How would you feel? And more importantly, what would you be willing to do to ensure that it happens? Because let me tell you something, Taurus. The universe doesn't give anything away for free. It's not going to put it in your lap while you're watching Netflix on the couch. You'll have to work for it. You'll have to prove you're ready. You'll have to demonstrate that you've learned your lesson. And what was the lesson? The lesson was learning to be self-sufficient, to find strength within yourself, to not depend on anything external to feel whole. The lesson was about letting go of control and trusting the process. The lesson was about discovering that you are much more resilient than you imagined. And above all, the lesson was about understanding that loss didn't destroy you, it transformed you. So when the return happens, you won't receive it as someone desperate. You will receive it as someone who chooses, not as someone who needs. And this energetic difference completely changes the nature of what you attract. There's something about you, Taurus, that I need to acknowledge here. You're stubborn, incredibly stubborn, and that's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it was this stubbornness that kept you standing when everything fell apart. It was what made you wake up every day and keep going, even without hope. But on the other hand, this same stubbornness can prevent you from embracing the new, because you cling. You fixate on an idea of how things should be and reject what doesn't perfectly fit that vision. So the challenge for 2026 is, can you be stubborn in hope but flexible in form? Can you cling to desire but let go of the need to control how it manifests? And there's one more thing you need to process now. While what was taken from you was out of your life, you were angry, you were bitter, you were resentful, and rightfully so. No one blames you for that. But that resentment became part of who you are. You built an identity around your pain, around your lack, around yourself that I once had and lost. And when 2026 arrives with the return, you'll have to let go of that identity too. You'll have to forgive. Forgive the universe for taking it away. Forgive yourself for not being able to hold on. Forgive whoever was responsible for the loss, because you can't hold on to the new with hands full of old resentment. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's not about pretending it didn't hurt. It's about releasing the emotional weight you've carried for so long that you don't even realize you're carrying it anymore. It's about looking back and saying, it happened, it hurt, but it doesn't define me anymore. And that, Taurus, is hard work. It's harder than any physical work you've ever done, because it stirs up wounds you've kept closed out of sheer fear of feeling the pain again. But if you don't do this work now, in 2026, when the blessing arrives, you won't have the emotional space for it. You'll be so full of old pain that there won't be room for new joy. So here's a challenge for you to start today. Identify one thing, just one, that you're holding on to that represents that old loss. It could be a belief about yourself. It could be a self-sabotaging habit. It could be a specific resentment. It could be a fear that paralyzes you. And let it go. That's all. Let go of one thing today, and tomorrow, if you can, let go of another. And keep doing this, one day at a time, until 2026 arrives. And when it does, you'll be empty in the right way. Empty of old baggage, ready to be filled with new life. And look, I'm not going to lie to you. The road to 2026 won't be easy. There will be days when you'll want to give up hope. There will be moments when you'll think, this is nonsense. Nothing will change. There will be people around you telling you to be realistic, to stop dreaming, to accept things as they are. And in those moments, you'll need to remember this conversation. You'll need to remember that the return isn't a question of if, it's a question of when. And when is 2026? So hold on tight, keep doing the inner work, keep letting go of the old, keep making room for the new, because it's coming, Taurus. It's really coming. And when it finally arrives, when you're there in 2026 with what was taken back in your hands, rebuilt, renewed, better than before, you'll look back on those years of waiting and you'll understand. You'll understand that it was worth every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt, because what you'll receive isn't just what you lost. It's that multiplied by everything you became in its absence. It's the reward for having crossed the desert and not having lost faith that there was water on the other side. And you know what else I need to tell you? During all this time you've spent without what was taken away, you've developed something you didn't have before, a kind of silent wisdom. You've learned to differentiate what is real from what is illusion. You've learned to perceive when someone is being genuine or just opportunistic. You've learned to sense when an opportunity is real or just another brilliant distraction. And this ability to discern is exactly what will allow you to recognize the return when it happens in 2026. Because many things will try to disguise themselves as what you lost. Many people will appear promising to fill that void, but you will know. Your instinct, sharpened by years of pain and learning, will know how to separate the true from the false. And there's one thing about this return that needs to be very clear. It won't be dramatic. There won't be fireworks. There won't be a cosmic announcement saying, look, this is it. It will be almost silent, almost simple. You'll be living your life, doing your things, and suddenly you'll realize that emptiness is no longer there. You'll realize you woke up without that weight. You'll realize you're truly smiling again, not that social smile you perfected. And then, when you stop to look around, you'll see everything is different, and everything that was taken away in one way or another has found its way back. But let me warn you about something that happens frequently and that can sabotage you if you're not careful. When things start to improve, when you start to feel the return approaching, that strange fear will creep in. That fear that if you acknowledge that you're improving, if you admit that you're happy again, the universe will take everything away again, as if happiness were an invitation to tragedy. And you'll want to sabotage it. You'll want to create problems where there aren't any, just to feel in control of the fall before it happens on its own. Don't do that, Taurus. That's just your mind trying to protect you in the wrong way. You can be happy without losing everything. You can receive without being ripped away again. You learned your lesson. The universe doesn't need to teach you twice. And there's something about the quality of this return that will surprise you. You know that thing you lost? When you had it, you didn't fully appreciate it. You kind of took it for granted. You thought it would always be there. And only after it disappeared did you realize how much it meant, how essential it was. But in 2026, when it returns, you won't make that mistake again. You will cherish every second. You will be grateful for every moment. You will treat it with the care and respect it deserves, because now you know what it's like to live without it. And those who have lived without it never take anything for granted again. I also need to prepare you for a possibility you may not have considered. What if what returns in 2026 isn't exactly what was taken away, but something you didn't even know you needed? What if the universe was taking that away to make room for something greater, something you would never have accepted if you were still clinging to the old? This happens, Taurus. Sometimes we lose the good to receive the extraordinary. but we would never willingly let go of the good. So the universe has to take it away, and it hurts. It hurts as if a piece of you is being ripped away. But years later, when you receive what you were truly destined to have, you understand, and you even give thanks for the loss. Let me tell you something about the months leading up to 2026. They're going to be strange. You're going to start feeling a strange movement in your life. Things that have been stagnant for years will start to move. People from the past may reappear, not necessarily the ones you want, but those who are part of the healing process. Situations you considered closed will require one last conversation, one last adjustment. It's as if the universe is doing a final review, checking if all the knots have been untied, if all the lessons have been learned, if you're truly ready, and you will be. You already are, in fact. You just need to go through this last layer of preparation. And when 2026 finally arrives, I want you to remember one thing. You survived. Simple as that. You went through the worst period of your life and came out the other side. Not whole. No one comes out of a hurricane whole, but alive, stronger, wiser, with scars that tell stories of battles you won. And these scars are not shame. They are trophies. They are physical proof that you are far more resilient than anything life can throw at you. So when you receive back what is yours, you will receive it not as a victim who has finally been compensated, but as a warrior who has earned their prize. So tell me now, Taurus, are you ready to start preparing? Are you ready to make peace with the past and open your arms to the future? Are you ready to let go of who you had to be during scarcity and embrace who you can be in abundance? Because 2026 waits for no one. It arrives for those who are ready and for those who are not. But only those who are ready can truly receive. Only those who did the work can hold on to the blessing. Only those who cleaned the house can receive the visit of what is truly yours. And you deserve this. You always deserved it. You just needed to learn that you deserved it before you could receive it. And now you know. Now you are ready. So prepare your heart, make space in your life and wait, because what is yours is returning. And when it returns, it will be bigger and better than you ever imagined possible.